Let's go. Game time.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Better Baby Daddy podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, John Lax.
I'm your other co-host, Kelly Burgess.
And today, B, we're going to roll out season 2.
Good,
That
baby.
feels great.
Feels good.
This season is going to be packed with a lot of different things. I think at the end of last season, we really leaned into keeping it as authentic and real with you and with ourselves as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So we came at you a little more. We hit you in the chest a little bit. And this season is going to be more of that.
Yeah, I think, we kind of took the gloves off that last, 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And because time is short.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one thing that we appreciate being men, and, no disrespect to the ladies, is that, we can just cut to the chase.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hiding behind where we are, what station we're in. And so we're going to keep it straight with you.
So if you missed all of season 1, go back and watch it. But right now, right here is a great place to start.
It is. It really is. It's a good relaunch.
Yeah. So with that being said, the title of episode 1, season 2, you're not a bad dad. You're simply an undisciplined man.
There you go. And when's the last time somebody called you undisciplined, like to your face? But I think we're coming out like that because when you got true friends, they're able to tell you when you got spinach in your teeth, when something is off kilter, or at least, ask probing questions and kind of get into why you're doing what you're doing or, why you're falling short.
And most men are not going to fail their kids because they don't love them.
No.
They're going to fail their kids because they have inconsistent behavior.
Absolutely.
And those inconsistent behaviors are from a lack of structure and a lack of discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we don't wake up saying, I just want to totally wreck my kid's life. I want to totally remove myself from my kid's life. But we do things, like you said, that are inconsistent or self-sabotaging that end up putting us in this situation where we are causing some negative effects on our kids.
Absolutely. Most men have those good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you said, we're not looking to how can I make it worse for Jimmy today?
Yeah.
We have good intentions. But unfortunately, those good intentions do not compensate for your lack of structure in your life.
Right.
Like they don't make up for your lack of discipline.
Right.
And they're not a reward for you. Just because I have these great intentions, I should not be rewarded.
Good dads over time are known for executing the good dad things.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the intention and then there's the execution of the action behind the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're unstructured or you just have some unmet needs that you haven't dealt with, it can lead to those inconsistent or destructive behavior, not just inconsistent, destructive behaviors in your kid's life.
No, that's absolutely true. Can you think of an example, and I'll go right after you, where you had the best of intentions, but your lack of structure, your lack of discipline led to these inconsistent behaviors, and you think your children might have felt that?
Yeah, I mean, in a real, the thing that comes to mind is promises that I told I think my relationship with my oldest.
Okay.
And things that I told them that I was absolutely not going to do. In terms of commitment to him, commitment to the family. And then I ended up doing the opposite of that. And so it wasn't one big decision. It was a series of small votes opposite of what I told him I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I said, hey, I'm going to, never leave again, it wasn't the vote of, hey, go get counseling. Hey, cut off these other situations. It was, let me lean into the comfort. We're going to talk about this later. Let me lean into these comfort voices or comfort people instead of the people that are being critical of some of the moves that I was making. So that's the thing, that comes close to mind. Also, it's just times I said, hey, every Saturday I'm going to do this. And it might be 2 Saturdays, not 4 Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And so those little things, kids they take notice of that. Mm. And particularly with the oldest, he was like, I'm just going to kind of feel that out and see if he's going to really be consistent.
Mm-hmm. For me specifically, I think of one thing that my girls keep on calling me out on. and it may sound minor, but it's so big and it looms so large on the back of my brain right here. Right. And that's it. When the one was probably 2 and the other one was 6, right? Okay. They're like, we were watching something. They're like, oh, a treehouse. I was like, oh, we could build a treehouse. and they said, well, where are we going to do it? I said, well, we could do it at grandma's house. Because, Grandma has a big backyard, has trees in the backyard. So I went as far as like, hey, can we do this in the backyard? Oh yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. We can do it.
Right.
And I'm thinking, yeah, I'll just go up there for a week during the summer with them too. They can help. They can be engaged in this process. You know, I'm talking to my brother while he's still living in the area. I was like, you want to do this? He's like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. It's never come close to occurring. And my oldest, I think, you know, she's now 10. She was probably 6 at the time. And she's like, I think she's kind of let go of it a little bit. But my youngest, she holding on to that thing. She got that thing gripped up. Every time we see anything that we could be in Sam's Club and they have the play thing up, you know, the structures up in Sam's Club, they got those things, the displays up.
Look at it too.
Yeah, she goes, what are we doing that? I said, oh. So I had the best of intentions saying that. And I really wanted to go through with that process.
Right. It's not too late, though.
It's not too late. Right. But the reality of actually putting it in play can be a struggle.
Dude, you need to call some Amish jokers up.
And just to have them do it.
Hey, I'm going to be up this week. Can y'all just pop this thing up?
Yeah. And
I'll go out swing some hands with y'all.
But I'm saying that, so as men, we have those great intentions.
We do.
Whether it's like, hey, I'm going to pick you up every Saturday.
Right.
We're going to go to the movies. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But when we say these things to our children, not really realizing that the follow through can be extremely difficult because of many variables.
Yeah. And most likely the things that got you in this, if you're listening to this podcast, there's things that got you in the situation you're in. And you have to work so hard against those to build a consistency that we're talking about. So it's not just, hey, I'm going to get you for coffee every Saturday. It's like you got to put systems in place that might not have ever been in place. Like my man, who we're talking about? Atomic Habits, my man right here. Your systems have been failing you in terms of building consistency with your kids. And so you have to fix some of those systems while you're trying to back your word up too. We're not saying it's easy. It's just, it's got to be done. And it's probably got you in a situation that you're in because the systems that you follow through hasn't been good.
Have to reach a point where you're very, very disciplined in your words, which allows you to be disciplined in your actions.
There you go.
Yeah, we just got to be careful. You have to be careful. I have to be careful. We all have to be careful with what we say because those intentions, they flood to the surface. And we're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to be this great father. I'm going to do all these great things as a father. And we're comparing ourselves to what we see in social media, in society in general. And we're going to fall short.
We are.
You are going to fall short. I've fallen short with the treehouse, right? I'm also very intentional. That taught me so much.
Right.
So now I'm very intentional and I'm like, all right, let me not say this right now. Let me not promise this because I know it's most likely an overpromise. Or I don't know how I'm going to get from A to B just yet. Once I figure out that journey from A to B, then I can go speak to my young ones about that.
Yeah, and guys like us that are working, not working from behind, but we know the time we've lost, or we know the interaction we've lost. You have to avoid the ability to try to recapture that. Like you're working from like this deficit and you know it and you're trying to get these things back as opposed to, hey, I'm in the present right now. What can I consistently deliver right now with what I got? And so that's a good one. So one thing that can help that is having some good structures in your life.
Absolutely, 100%. Those strong structures, that strong routine is going to reduce stress. 100 times over, and it's going to allow you to operate on automatic almost. Like there's certain things, certain decisions that are going to be made without you even thinking. It's that concept of habit stacking.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
So those structures are so important. They're going to reduce the stress. They're going to increase the discipline. They're going to provide a foundation of emotional regulation for yourself and your family.
Right. What happens when those structures aren't in place? What does it lead to?
Oh, man. You're all over the place.
How does it show up?
You're all over the place. You're all over the place in terms of, oh, maybe I get to the gym this week. Maybe I won't get to the gym this week. Oh, I got to pick up, well, in terms of work, your professional environment now. You're showing up late. You're leaving early. Oh, I forgot about the doctor's appointment. I forgot about the dance recital. Oh, no, she got practice over here. Those structures are going to eliminate the stress that accompanies the day-to-day life of being a dad.
Yeah. And so,
actually, one second.
Yeah.
They're not going to eliminate the stress.
No.
They're still going to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they're going to reduce the amount of stress because so much can be placed on autopilot.
Right. Yeah. So stress doesn't go away.
Mhm.
It's just like gravity. It's always acting on us. But your ability to handle it, be resilient when you have some high stress times, will come down to those systems. The better your systems, the better your structures, the more you're going to be able to tolerate, and the quicker you're going to be able to snap back. When you do not have good structures, it shows up normally as you're extremely irritable as a dad, or on the other end, you're not present, you detach because you're so stressed, right? You're just seeking comfort. To your kids, it's going to come across as anger and impatience. Like, you just don't have anything for me today, Dad, or you're just kind of short. And so it's important to put those things in so you have those emotional reserves for your kids.
100%. Very, very well said there. I'm trying to think of...
You're a pretty structured dude. I was going to ask you.
I am.
You're a pretty structured dude, and I know you've worked on it over multiple year. And so what are some hacks that you can kind of give to the audience? They're like, hey, if you were to start the day from like day one, and you weren't a real structured person, what would be some advice you would give?
I think the simplest move we can make is to offload things from our brain. And what can we offload those things? So schedules, offload the schedules from your brain. Stop trying to keep it all up here. You know, go into your iPhone, pull up the calendar, pull up Google Calendar, iCalendar, whatever it is, and start offloading things. That is a big one. Another simple one is set yourself reminders. So it's 10 o'clock. Oh no, at 9:30, I was supposed to make a phone call. Set the reminder for 9:25. Your phone's going to buzz. Make sure you're not on do not disturb, or that can get through. Right. But those are the simple things. Setting reminders, putting things into the calendar that prompt you a day before, then prompt you an hour before. Those simple things will reduce stress, and you don't have to hold them in your brain.
Right. Yeah. That's it. The other thing I would piggyback on that is when you're doing your schedule, you got to put your big rocks in first, and then let everything else flow around it. So those things you've committed to do with your kids, they got to go in the calendar as hard appointments. Your self-care, gym, time alone. If you're a person got to recharge, time alone. Your doctor's appointments, you got to put those in, those maintenance things in, and then everything else goes around it. If I was to do it again as a young dad who was recently, separated from the mom, I would make sure that I scheduled one-on-one time with the kids at whatever frequency I knew I could do. And that's outside of the visitation. Like during the visitation, I'm going to work it out where I take the kid out, just me and them. And maybe I arrange for the other kid. If you got multiple kids, the other kids to stay with somebody or something. But hitting that's the one thing I would have done. It structured that and made those deposits.
Yeah. You have to build the structure, and you have to have the discipline to at least initiate that structure building process.
Yes.
And then you're going to have to rely on it. Yep. If not, you're going to be in chaos, and you're probably in chaos listening to this then if you don't have those things in place. It's that simple. Because I know I reached a certain point in my life where there was no other option but to build a structure. Right. Because I knew I couldn't continue down the same path that I was traveling. Yeah. It would lead to complete self-destruction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hopefully you don't have to reach that point where you're like, whoa, if I go one step more and I'm off the cliff.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's a lot of the motivation for the cast. It's like, we don't want you to be at that spot where you literally hitting bottom, because then you're no good for yourself and you're definitely no good for your kids. So we're harping on structure because those things can be kind of the safety net that help you just continue to raise your level.
And here's the big thing, and we're going to lean into somewhat of opposing sides on this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because we never really had this conversation, but I feel like I'm a little more of a hardcore individual when it comes to this stuff as compared to you, where you might have...
It's more nuanced.
Right. And I don't know if the word compassion is necessarily correct there, but we're like, there's a slight difference in how we view things. I'm right. Number one, I'm like, get your shit together and go.
Right.
Like, that's it for me. Like, I don't have a lot of empathy for men that aren't making the right decisions. I don't care where you came, because I know my background. I know where I came from. So I don't want to really hear that story too much. Right. Because you're an adult, and now every decision you get to own as an adult.
Right. Yeah. And we probably are. I think for me, it comes from, I've been that, so I've lived that life where, man, I've really blown some stuff. And part of me getting to the point where I could even enter back into my kid's life and do this work was I had to have some compassion on myself to just even get back into the ring. Because I couldn't be negative because all the negatives were always before me. You know, every time I was missing someone with kids, it was like that was in there. So that's part of it. And then I know how hard that journey is. The second thing that helps me is, or shape me, not helps me, shape me, is that I've been that way with, my sons. And it's been met with mixed results. And so I've had to learn to temper like the strength of that message, or maybe how it comes out with, hey, let me put it in a little compassion sandwich for you. But the message is still the same, still good to meet.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's not coming to you scalding hot, right? It's like, oh, okay, let me turn the temperature down. I think we both feel the same way, but the way it comes across might, I think with 20, 25 years of experience of kind of living through it, but yeah, let's go into it.
Yeah. So I think the biggest lie men tell themselves is that I'm doing my best. That's the biggest lie we say to ourselves is I'm doing my best. And you really got to check that. And the reason you have to check that, and I would say stop saying that phrase altogether, is because you can't measure your best. Like there's no like, oh, here, I did my best today. Well, show me the actual dots on the graph, right? Show me the time spent you did your best. Show me how you did your best dadding. Show me how you did your best at the gym. And I don't think you can show me that.
Right.
But now if I set standards as the baseline, I can say I achieved this standard.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were talking, pre-show. I was like, first I was not in my feelings, but I was like, what do you mean you can't say you did your best? But I understand completely what you're saying now. Is that you never arrive. You don't really, you shouldn't feel like you've arrived, because then complacency leads to you reverting back to, doing worse to me. But I love how you framed it with, you set a standard and you're always you can measure yourself against the standard. So you and I wear Whoop. We would love a little, shout out Whoop. But the Whoop tells you over time, this is how you handle stress, or this is how you deal with your sleep, or this is how you deal with your effort, or whatever. There's 3 metrics in the measures. And you can see how you are against your average, your standard. And I like that as a dad, because it's doable, it's measurable. So if you say, hey, out of a year, I'm going to get together one-on-one with my kids 12 times. And you look back after a year and you did it 3 times, then you didn't do your best. You didn't. And I would say that if you don't have a person in your circle who can say, hey, you didn't really do your best, how can I assist you with that? You ain't doing your best. If you don't have a contrary voice in your ear that is going to give it to you straight, you're really not positioned to do your best in a way. So I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Now on the compassion end is, okay, man, you're not where you need to be. Hey, I'm gonna run this next lap with you. Let's go. So maybe that's kind of where, you might be like, look, I got my own lap to run. We run it at different paces.
To a certain extent, to a certain extent. And for me, and I'm going to go lean back into that, the workout gym example. And that is, if I missed the gym, I would never say, oh, I did my best to get there. No, I did not get there. I don't want to lean into that comfort of failure there, right? I want that failure to be uncomfortable for me. So I didn't reach my standard. I didn't meet my standard. If my goal was to spend 2 hours uninterrupted with one of my daughters on a weekend, and I did 30 minutes, I didn't do my best.
So what do you tell the man who, okay, he's at the point where he can be truthful with himself about that? I had this expectation, this thing I told I was going to do for my kids. I didn't do it. I didn't do the standard. I didn't do my best. What does that man do now in the moment when he knows, hey, I didn't do my best? How do you, maybe you share, or maybe you share what you do. Like, what do you do to kind of not stay in that spot and then get moving towards what the standard is?
Okay. What was the lesson? Number one. So I need to reflect and see what the lesson was. Why did I not achieve my standard? Why did I not reach that point? And there's many variables. And I believe that there's reasons, but there's not excuses. So we're not leaning into that, well, this happened and this happened. Did you say you were going to do it or not? And if you said you're going to do it, figure out why it didn't happen,
Right.
and then the next time it better happen.
Right.
Because you're the one that said it.
Right. That's true.
And if you can't trust yourself, how are you going to ever trust anyone else?
And that's true. That's true. And I do think we let ourselves off the hook too much. And I'm speaking to myself on that. I was thinking about it, an example at home. My wife mentioned to me the other day. I was like, this I was going to do that. So let's get back. But the point is that set a standard. Get to the standard. I love how you say, hey, when you don't meet the standard, be honest with yourself, or at least have people in your ear who can say, man, you ain't reached the standard, dog. You say you're going to do this. You ain't do that. You know, what happened? Let's reflect. If you want me to back off, I'll back off. But you say, hey, you want me in this space, so I'm in this space. Yeah. And then get back to the work. Get back to the thing you said you were going to do.
I agreed 100%.
Yeah.
And one of the things that our kids are going to pick up on is what we're doing as opposed to what we're saying we're going to do. There's no other way around that. Kids are going to read your structure. They're going to read your discipline, and they are not going to pay attention to words when your actions and your behaviors are going in an absolutely different direction.
Yeah. And like we said at the top, most of us are now waking up saying, how can I completely destroy my kid's life or get them completely off track? How it shows up is you're inconsistent, that mismatch between what you said you were going to do and then what you do. Your actions speak so much louder than your words. And the consistency of you hitting little things just speaks volumes to them. Hey, my dad called me I just remember him texting me every Tuesday morning, or he called me every Saturday morning, or he picked me up for church every Sunday morning. He did this thing all the time. That speaks volumes. It carries through generations.
Yeah.
It really does. And we can't impress that upon you any stronger than we're saying is pick some things and hit that mark no matter what. Because Morris, we say this, if we said it once, we said it 1,000 times, Morris caught the taught.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And in every single situation. There's no way around that. As a man, one of the most important things you can do is choosing the individuals you surround yourself with. And an undisciplined man will often surround themselves with comfort voices. So voices, they're going to say, oh, don't worry about it, buddy. You'll get that next time. They're not going to say, no, you didn't do your best. They're not going to say, wait, you were only in the gym once the past 2 weeks. They're not going to call you out on that stuff because you told them, hey, I'm going to get in the gym January. I'm going to start crushing it. I'm going to spend more time with my kids. All right, it's check-in time. Where you at? An undisciplined man?
Well, he ain't going to check in with you. Yeah. And the cool thing is that everybody can, you can vote to be more disciplined or not disciplined every day. You can choose to vote something, to be different. I lost my train of thought there for a second. You said something. I was like, man, I want to respond to that. And I just completely lost it. Hey, human beings, bro.
It happens. But it's really about when you look at your social circle and those individuals that you have allowed to be part of that circle. And I want to emphasize this. The individuals you have allowed to be part of it.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes some people got to get the boot. Like they do. They do.
They got to ring out, And, it's two quotes. One was by James Clear. He said, you need to be in the spaces where the people are acting the way you want to eventually act. Like you got to be around. You want to be an entrepreneur, you got to be around entrepreneurs. You may be a baby entrepreneur just thinking about it, but you get to be around executors. You want to be, an excellent educator, you got to be around skilled veteran educators. And so you have to be swimming in the waters with the people that you want to eventually become. I saw a quote this morning on social media. They said, if you are not getting any complaints or any criticisms, you're sugar, you're too sweet. Take that how you want. But as opposed to being salt. Yeah. Which is, hey, I'm able to flavor a situation, but you're not going to like too much of me, right? And so you're not going to be the people in your circle should be salty to you. They should be the ones that can really pull you up because you don't grow unless you got some cats around you that challenge you. If you're the smartest dude or the hardest working dude or, the creme de la creme in your group, you just are not going to grow. You're going to stagnate. And the tricky thing is when we're in tight situations like many of us are, feeling that stress of not being around our kids, it is easy to default to the comfort.
Yeah.
Comfort's all around you.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, screens, disengaging from people in real life, it's easy to default to that drug. And it's harder to put yourself in a position where you're going to be challenged and pulled out of that.
We had a conversation a couple of days ago in your office, and we were talking about, there are some people that anchor you to certain spots. And if you're willing to allow yourself to be attached to them, they're going to anchor you to that comfort zone, and they're going to keep you right there.
Right.
And then we talked about people that yank you out of those comfort zones. So we had
anchors and yankers.
Anchors and yankers.
I love it.
And someone that's going to, by their actions, just pull you away from your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they're not out there like rah speeching you, giving you all these motivational tips and things of that nature. They're just, by their actions and by them being naturally who they are, they're going to start pulling you and yanking you away from your comfort.
Yeah, they are. And sometimes it's just they're so consistent with what they said they were going to do. If you're going to rock with them, you got to be consistent. You got to continue to show up. This cast has been a yanker, because like, hey, hook 'em by crook, we're recording once, twice a week, period. And so you have to analyze where you are with a dad, who's around you, what tribe got you in this situation, because really it's the people around you and your decision making with that group that got you where you were. You gotta make some hard decisions to substitute some cats out. If you are in a situation where you want to build strong relationship and be a better dad, you got to have one or two voices in there that are strong, have strong relationships with their kids and are better dads, and it may be rebuilt relationships that have done the work they're trying to do. There's no way you're going to be able to do it without that helps. It's your decision. A year from now, you can look back and say, what did I vote for? What did I do? But you can't put it on anybody else but yourself.
You have to build the structure. You have to get disciplined. There is no other option in my mind. If you want to be a great father, that is the basis of it. It's not, it's so much more than what you're able to provide financially. That is part of the stew. That is part of the soup, but it's not all of it. So just a quick review here. Number one is your good intentions do not compensate for your poor behavior or your lack of consistency with your behavior. So good intentions are wonderful, but that's just a starting point. And there needs to be actions that back those things up.
Consistent action.
Number two, a lack of structure is going to cause you to be stressed. It's going to cause your children to be stressed. It's going to cause your family to be stressed. It's that simple. You need to put structures in place so you are not chaotic and your family's not chaotic.
Correct.
If you look around and you see your kids are chaotic, they're in chaos, that's on you. Get it together, put the work in, and become disciplined. Number three, it's not about saying, oh, I did my best. That's not good enough. Set standards, live up to those standards as best as humanly possible every single day.
And have that check-in with yourself, measure it against your standard, and then get back up when you fall short.
Absolutely. Number four, very simple here. Kids are going to see and read the discipline and the structure that you have in your life. They're not going to care what you have to say unless your words are backing up or reinforcing your behaviors. It's that simple. And finally, get rid of the comfort voices. I know it's nice to have people say, man, you're doing so good. I can't believe you're doing all this and you're a dad and you're doing this. That's cool. We need that sometimes, but you need people. You really do need people that are going to yank you. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, that's it. And you need both voices, but you can't be eaten from the comfort voices all the time. You do need encouragement. And I'm that side, because we were talking, pre-show about, hey, I'm that side of, keep going. But this is where we're trying to go.
Hey.
We're not staying here.
Absolutely. And to end today, I wrote down something, and I don't want to mess this up, so I want to say this verbatim.
There you go.
Here we go. Love without discipline is just chaos with good intentions.
Love without discipline is chaos without good intentions. That reminds me of these, we used to call them Disney World moments. These big things that we do for our kids, but we don't hit the small stuff.
So love without discipline is chaos with good intention.
There you go.
Oh.
All right. So get at it, guys. Welcome back to year 2. Like, subscribe, hit us up in the DMs.
All that.
Bring another dude along next time, or lady, your BM.
Find us on social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And hey, do your next best dad move tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Or today, right now.
100%, right now.
All right.
All right, until next time. I'm John.
I'm Kelly.
Peace. All right.
Not too bad.